You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 315 of the Batter Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Ganada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing? I'm sorry, no. Somebody told me to stop doing that on Twitter. How are you, sir?
Early bird gets the worm, I guess.
There you go. We're early. I saw people already talking about we're going to be late, so we figured we'd jump on here about a minute early. So we are here early, and we're here to talk game number 2 of the of the Inter Miami season going up against the Houston Dynamos. It's going to be Sunday night. We got Sunday night soccer. We are prime time. So it should be interesting, especially watching that pregame show where they're going to be talking about those teams specifically. So I'm interested to see how that goes. But yeah, man, 2 games of the season. We moved on in the CCC. We found out that we got another CCC home game coming up next Thursday. And we found out that season ticket holders are getting nice discounts. They're getting nice pricing to those games, which a lot of people are excited and happy about.
I mean, look, I don't know if you want to reveal your prices. I'll
tell them mine. It's $30.
It was $30. Yes.
Yeah.
So $30 for 2 tickets. Now, the downfall, at least for us, is that our tickets, our seats, aren't the seats that we're going to be sitting in if we were to make the purchase. Did you make the purchase?
I did not, because they have me sitting in the Lego stands.
Yes, and that's the moment that I said I am not paying to sit in the Lego stands. I tried to look around. A lot of people told me they weren't getting their seats, but then there's a lot of people that told me they are getting their seats. But that's mostly the West Coast, the West side.
Well, and this is the thing, like, if I think it's a great deal. Like $30 for 2 tickets to a CCC game is amazing.
But Thursday for us, too.
Yeah, and Thursday isn't that bad. For some reason, it just feels better than a Tuesday or Wednesday for some reason. Even though I still got to work on Friday, it just feels better. But for you and I, just us specifically, the fact that we live like an hour away from the stadium and that we're going to have to pay so much for parking, $40-$50, is just it's not worth it if you're making me sit. Mine was like row 19 in the Lego stands. Like, if you would have given me like row 1, row 2, because I have row 1 seats on a regular basis. So if I can't get my own seats, at least give me something comparable to that. But you're literally throwing me to the end of the corner of the stadium, and I just can't. I'm not digging it. But they did do right by a lot of people, just not by us.
Yes, yeah, they did. All the people that are sitting on the west and the east, they did right by them.
And they also, I'm assuming.
Well, I know that a lot of people that have west and east seats, they stayed with their seats. But people that had the south and some people that I know that had the north end, they did not stay with their seats. And they got thrown in the Lego stands, makeshift seats. I got like 23rd row. Like, it's like you said, if we're sitting in the front, we have the first row. Give me like row 1 through 6.
Yeah, put in row 1,
up in the 20s.
Because the fact that you're putting me in the corner, I'm already not a fan of that. But
shout out to Escondido, $30 tickets with $35, $40 parking.
Yeah, the fact that they were putting me in the corner, I'm not a fan of. But whatever. Like, for that price, it's not bad. But the fact that I got to drive so far, no. But the fact if this was at the new stadium already, I think I would have taken it. But I'm driving an hour away for that, and then parking and everything. I'm gonna have to pass.
Well, that's the thing, right? You're having to make the hour commute just to get there. Then you have to pay equal the amount the price that you paid for your seats, if not more, for parking. And then you're going to have to spend on concessions. If you drink, you're going to get expensive drinks. If you eat, you're going to get expensive food. And then to top it off, you got another hour commute waiting for you to go home after the game. It's a Thursday, so it feels better. Absolutely.
And it's probably a longer drive than an hour because it's still a weekday. People still getting out of work.
Yes,
so
correct. Yes,
whatever.
Absolutely.
But that is the CCC tickets, and but I know by East and West stands they did right by you guys, so good for them. I mean that's a kind of a step in the right direction, and we are assuming that the reason that we didn't get our seats is because they're letting the away team sit in the South stand, even though I highly doubt Cavalier is filling up the South stand. Whatever.
It makes no sense. I mean, you're talking about Liga MX couldn't fill the whole stands. They have the whole stands block. I looked it up on Ticketmaster. Every single stand, it shows no tickets on Ticketmaster.
Yeah, because when we played against Cruz Azul for the first ever Leagues Cup game, at that point when the tickets first went on sale, that nobody knew, that they didn't know that Messi was coming. They did sit in our section, but it was 3 rows, I believe, and that was it. So I'm surprised that they gave him the whole South stand, but whatever. Again, decent. I think it's decent, the fact that they are doing that for the fans, and I'm not going to hate on it, and I would take advantage of it if the stadium wasn't so far. Probably take me about an hour and a half to get there on a weekday, and then sitting in the Lego stands is what really killed it for me. So, all right, well, other news: Jordi Alba, officially a designated player. So we went the 3-3 route, 3 DPs, 3 U22s. The U22s are Segovia, Redondo, and Aviles. And then the 3 DPs, Busquets, Alba, and Messi.
And everybody thought we were going to go 4-2. Everybody thought we were going to do the 4-2 route.
Well, Jordi Alba can still be bought down in the summertime to bring on Neymar, so that's what I'm expecting to happen. But that's still a possibility. But that is the designation that we went with. We went with the 3-3 DPs, 3 U22s. And I can't think of anything else that we have to do as far as housekeeping goes before we bring on our guest to talk Houston Dynamo, unless you want to talk about how you think that the team's going to line up before we bring on our guest, because Toto Aviles isn't playing. Falcon played one hell of a game from the CCC, so I would assume Falcon's going to start. Who do you think lines up next to Falcon?
Well, I mean, next to Falcon, Noah Allen.
That's what I'm thinking.
Noah Allen. Huh. I mean, the big question is, I mean, everybody's talking about Messi. Now, there's nothing out there in particular that is stating that he is not going to play. Now, my name is Jeff, says Neymar trying to go back to Barca. Listen, I'm done with the whole Barca crap.
Yeah,
Stop.
No, I don't know why. And you know what? And when you look, it's a lot of Barca accounts that are putting these things out there.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think Neymar's going back to Barca. Messi is definitely not going back to Barca. So stop feeding into the nonsense. And if Messi were to go back, which I don't see happening, but if he were to go back, it wouldn't be next year. So you're going to have Messi at least this year or next year. The year after that, once he's almost 40 at that point, I don't know if he's going to want to go back, but maybe. But yeah, he's staying in Miami this year and next.
The same accounts that are putting that Messi's going to Barca because this kid is going to play for like the Barca Juniors or whatever the team is called for the kids are the same accounts that were putting up that Messi's kid put up like 17 goals in 17 minutes. Okay. So let's chill out, Barca people. Okay.
All right.
Calm down.
One last question before we bring on our guest to you. So we said the back line, right? You know, it's going to be Frey. It's going to be Alba, Ustari, Redondo, Busquets, Segovia, and Allende, probably Suarez. And now my question, do you think Messi plays on Sunday?
If I'm not mistaken, he shafted Houston already one time.
That's my understanding. I've had a lot of Houston people hit me up and ask, and I see Joe in the background. Our guest is nodding yes. So he's nodding yes. So yes, definitely yes. And I've had a couple of Houston people reach out to me and ask, hey, do you think Messi's going to go? I don't know if I should buy tickets. And I'm telling all of them, I really don't know. And I'm also telling them, if I ran the team, I'd tell them not to. I told him to go and wave at everybody. But the fact that he was massaging his hamstring and came out in the 68th minute, and he has that CCC game a couple days later, I would tell him to just chill because this is a marathon, and I really need him at least good for the Champions Cup because that's what we really want. And it's really early in the regular season. So I don't know, though, because to me, Mascherano doesn't seem like the type that really like rotates his players. He's just going to ride them to the ground. He's doing the what's the Knicks head coach? Tom Thibodeau. He's doing the Thibodeau. Yeah. He's just wearing his players out, and I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that.
I don't blame him. He's probably not a Mike Jones fan. I'm not a Mike Jones fan. If I was him, I wouldn't start.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to play? The way Mascherano's been treating Messi so far, I think he's going to play, and he'll probably play the 90 minutes.
I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays. I mean, he shafted Houston once. I'm pretty sure he's going to go out there and he's going to, play in Houston for the first time, I believe, and it's going to be nice. So I feel like he'll play. And Mitch is saying here he thinks a solid 20, 30 minute. Listen, I think we've come to the understanding that there's no such thing as a solid 20, 30 from Messi. It's either
he comes in like the 55th
or he's
minute.
Not in.
When he comes, he just subs in. He's coming in like the 55th minute. And yes. Munoz is saying Mash is actually good with rotations, better than Tata. We can get into that because I don't see where you see that, Steve. I don't see where he's shown. I think he's been riding all his players to the ground, honestly. And the only reason that Suarez got subbed off is because we were at 10 men, because otherwise Suarez would have played 90 last game also, I think.
And look, my name is Jeff. I did see the presser. Okay, I did see the presser of Mascherano, and he talked about Messi subbing off, and he talked about how Messi was hurt, and that they're attending to his injury. Well, he's not really injured; it was just like a little knock, and he's okay.
So he's gonna play.
They're not making. Listen, he said a lot of nothing. Is that what you want? You love your coverage. My name is Jeff. You love nothing. You love to hear nothing.
All right. Well, let's bring in our guest. I'm curious to see, because I'm hearing that Houston is the ticket prices have started to skyrocket. So let's bring in our guest. I got wrong screen. My fault. There we go. Joe, what's going on, man? How are you doing, sir?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing fantastic. How you guys doing?
Good. We're living the dream.
Hell yeah.
Are you going in as media, or are you going to watch the game and you're paying those crazy prices?
I will not be there.
Okay. All right.
Now, Messi or no Messi?
No Messi. No Messi for me.
Now, is it true that those prices are skyrocketing?
Are they? I actually have to check that. I from what I heard, the game wasn't even close to being sold out yet.
Oh, really?
A little conflicting reports there. Let me do a little.
It really doesn't surprise me because the marketing.
This is what happens when we listen to the chat, because the chat is saying that the chat's telling us that the prices are skyrocketing. Look, here we are.
Yeah, unless it's changed today. It could have changed today. As of yesterday, we were having a conversation about how the marketing team's completely failing and they're not even close to selling this game out so far.
Wow, that's surprising. I thought that this would be an easy sell.
Right now, oh my goodness, I am planting in right now the tickets. There are a lot of tickets available, but they are pretty pricey. So let's look over here. Here's the tablet. There's a lot of tickets available, and they are pretty expensive. So here we have $213, $217, $219.
$213.
And that's why they're not selling.
Yeah.
They're doing what they do here. So welcome to Messi Mania. So I do see, but I do see that there are a lot of tickets, guys. So for those of you saying that they're selling out the stadium, look at you guys. You guys are not dependable today.
Especially if Messi might not even play, too. Imagine spending all that money and he doesn't play.
Well, no, and that's why I think that's another reason why people are hesitant to buy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to spend that money and then miss on Messi.
And he just keep picking up little injuries before he plays Houston. He's scared of us.
Look, Ache isn't there anymore. There's nothing to fear in that midfield anymore.
Oh man! You haven't watched Jack McGlynn much, have you?
But that's on the offense. I'm talking about defensively. Ain't nobody. Jack McGlynn ain't gonna go in on Messi hard.
I hope he does now.
I think it would be great for a storyline, but I don't think he's going to do it. But so as far as Houston, you guys played last week. You guys lost to Dallas. It was, I mean, for everybody that looks at that game and thinks that Dallas had a convincing win, it was a stupid turnover that we basically gifted a goal to Peter Musa. And then the other one where you guys, for some reason, just stopped playing because you felt like you guys were fouled, led to the counter, and the keeper played that ball horribly, and it was another easy goal. So Houston, one of the better defenses last year. You guys lost, was his name Mikhail,
yeah.
To Palmeiras, I believe. So how are you guys looking? Yeah, how are you guys looking right now as a team? Because you guys, one of the better defenses last year. You lost your midfield in the offseason with Ache and Coco heading out. What's this team looking like? You guys have a lot of hope for the season?
I have tons of hope for the season, actually, because despite losing Coco and Hector, they've replaced them well. I mean, last year, towards the stretch of the season, they had Hector was injured for half the season last year, and they still broke their points total record in the regular season. So, I mean, and then when he was gone, they would put Coco Carrasquilla into that 8 position where Hector would play, and then they put Sebastian Kowalczyk out on the right wing where they have Coco play. And I think towards the end of the season, especially Volchik was playing better in that role than Coco was playing for most of the year. So I think he's already a fine replacement. And to replace Hector Herrera, they brought in Jack McGlynn. I mean, you guys have played Miami or Philly a bunch of times. You guys know how good Jack McGlynn is. I mean, he's a monster. I mean, we looked at his stat line from this last game, and it was better than a lot of games Hector Herrera played. He had like over 100 touches. He had 14 progressive passes, multiple chance creations. He was fantastic.
He had one shot that hit off the crossbar. I should have gone in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, or off the inside of the post.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. But he was looking good.
He's looking very good. I'm very excited about that. I thought he was destined for good European team, Bundesliga, Premier League somewhere, but he ended up here.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna ask because you guys still have Amin Bassi. He actually ended up scoring last game, and I mean he had a couple goals with you guys last year. I mean, is he still somebody other than McGlynn that's promising on the offensive end?
Absolutely, he's the creator. I mean, last year statistically he was one of the best chance creators in MLS, despite the assists numbers not really being as prominent as you'd see because they didn't really have a prominent striker last year until Ezekiel Ponce came in through midseason. He's been very good. So yeah, Bassie's still very dangerous. Ben Olsen's been talking all offseason how he wants him to score more goals. And game 1, we've already seen it.
That's phenomenal.
Brooklyn Reigns. Any chance that Brooklyn Reigns gets any shot in that midfield now? Because I thought when Ache and Coco left that Brooklyn Reigns might finally slide in there, but with the newcomers, I think that he might have lost that chance.
Yeah, I mean Jack McGlynn, that's his spot. He's the guy where we might see Brooklyn play in the future is on the right wing. That's where he played a bit last year as well. He kind of turned into Kowalczyk's backup when Hector went down and they made that switch. I think Brooklyn will get his chances. Eric Dueñas is another guy that they brought in who could play that role. So there's some competition for sure. If Kowalczyk slips up once, they're going to put Reigns in there because, Olsen's talked a lot about how much he really just loves Brooklyn Reigns and how he thinks he's ready. Mm-hmm. So I think he'll get his chance. It's not going to be as an 8, though.
All right, good.
No, go ahead, Danny.
No, I was going to ask. So what formation do you guys run out there and kind of what type of game do you play?
So it's kind of a weird thing to answer because I mean they start the game normally in a 4-4-2 shape with Bassi as a second striker. That's how they play defense. They press out of a 4-4-2, and then when they're in possession, they go to kind of like the Pep Guardiola formation, the 3 at the back with the 4-man midfield, the 2 wingers and the striker, and they have Griffin Dorsey from right back come up to play the right wing. And they have the right winger who would be Kowalczyk mostly. He kind of inverts into a second 10.
Okay.
And it's very possession focused. I mean, you guys saw it in the Open Cup final 2 years ago. Yeah. They will just eat you alive in that midfield. It doesn't seem to matter who's playing, just with how good the pressing scheme is and how well the defenders step up. They're gonna probably look to have 55 to 60% possession in this game and dominate.
And now that you brought up the U.S. Open Cup final, how many Houston Dynamo 10 Messi kits are we gonna see at that stadium? Because we saw them at
I saw them in person.
They're gonna be there. They'll be there.
And we're like, what is going on? How are there Houston Dynamo kits with 10 Messi on the back?
Do you guys get that with a lot of away fans there?
That's the only time I've seen it is with Houston.
Only with Houston?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It was the only team I think that I had ever seen with an opposing jersey with the 10 and Messi combo.
Yeah, that was fun.
So weird. You'll see it. I'm sure it'll happen.
I'm pretty sure that there are other people, but I mean, I don't know if they're going to go out in public, especially to like a game with the jersey. But yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy to be able to see that for sure.
Oh, it's so weird. I hate it.
And Richard Greenberg is actually saying here, I'm surprised how good of a job Ben Olsen is doing as head coach of Houston.
Surprised? Oh, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's been a long-standing playoffs almost every year with DC United for a long time. I mean, he won Coach of the Year in 2014. They've had some damn good teams.
So tell me how. So the question here is, why are you going to be clawing for 9th place at the end of the season? Because the preseason looked awful for you guys. You guys only won against Columbus by 1 goal. And other than that, you've had a couple ties and a couple losses.
Yeah,
I know, Danny, but I can't be positive here, okay? Is it like, are you guys as awful as the last 5 games, or are we going to be seeing something a little bit more promising?
It's going to be something more promising. I think they're going to finish around the 5th, 6th spot for the 3rd year in a row. I think they're still one of those teams where they don't really have a star. Even when Hector Herrera was there, he wasn't almost the star. It's kind of the system and the coaching staff are the star of the team, where they're just a unit. I think we'll see it in the same spot. I mean, we've also seen with the defense. It over the last 3 years, doesn't matter who Ben Olsen slots into that back line, they're just good. I don't understand it. Like, we had Mikael, he was kind of just like, okay, he was good with the second team in Next Pro, jumps up to the first team in year 2, and just becomes an instant good starter, above MLS average starter. And then year 3, he's a top 5 center back in the league. It's like, it's crazy. And then we have Femi Owadesu, who started against Dallas. He was a Next Pro player last year, slots in MLS debut, puts in a fantastic performance.
Players to watch. I'm assuming Jack McClellan is who you're gonna say. Anybody else outside of him that if we're watching the game, we're like, let's look out for him?
I would say Griffin Dorsey.
Okay.
Jordy Alba fit?
Yes, he is.
Okay,
I mean, so he's healthy. I don't know how fit he is, but he has.
Okay, so if he's playing, they're
last
gonna look.
2 games he's been a little iffy these last 2 games.
So that's gonna be prime for Griffin Dorsey. If they catch him pushing up the field a little too much, that's where Dorsey is really going to come to life on some transition plays. He's going to absolutely torch you guys. I mean, we saw that. I don't think Jordy Alba played in the Open Cup final, but Dorsey scored that really nice goal in that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. Jordy Alba pushes up really high, so there might be some room to maneuver in there. Go ahead, Danny.
Well, what would you say is the strength of Houston, and what would be the weakness of Houston?
The strength of Houston for sure is their ability to play through the middle of the field in possession, just really take over games, control the ball in the final third. As soon as they give it away, they get it right back.
But I know that. Oh, you said that last year they were injured, and okay. No, I was gonna say, even though you lost a lot of your midfield in the offseason, but you said that Hector Herrera barely played last year, and
yeah, it didn't even matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the weakness at this point, I would say the wide play is not so great. The wing play isn't the best. Ibrahim Aliou on the left wing, he's fantastic off the ball. He's one of the best off-ball forwards in the entire league. He really stretches back lines. He creates so much space for that midfield to operate. But he can be very sloppy sometimes when he gets the ball in possession on the wing. I would say that's definitely a weakness, and that sometimes creates a lack of goal scoring chances. I actually get a lot of hate in our fan base because I support Aliou. They absolutely just destroy this guy because he has like one or two bad touches a game, and they just obliterate the dude. But I think Ali is pretty good. But I would say the wide play is definitely a weakness. But they don't really depend on the wide play to score goals. It's mostly all through the middle.
Okay. Let's say hypothetically, you are a degenerate gambler, and you decide that you're going to bet all your money on Inter Miami, but just to be sure that you're going to win, you go up to Mascherano, and in his ear, you whisper, "This is how you beat the Houston Dynamo." What are you telling him?
Oh, man. I mean, you got to beat them on the break. I mean, we saw that against Dallas. I mean, a quick counterattack, because, I mean, I don't know if Eric Sviatchenko is going to be available, but if he's available for the game, he likes to push into midfield from center back a lot. Escobar is going to push into midfield from center back as well. So they're gonna put a lot of man forward. They're gonna try to make a lot of overloads on the right side. If you could catch them out real quick and spring a counterattack, that's probably the way to beat them.
We press high. We've been pressing high all season long. How are you guys beating that press? Because I know that's how Dallas scored on you. You guys gave the ball away.
That's been the team's strength, really, is playing out of the back. They're very good out of the back. The Bartlow thing last week was kind of a freak thing. They passed it to him. He tried to make it a pass to McGlynn. If you watch it slowly, you can see the way his plant foot kind of connects with the wet grass. It was pouring all day for that game. He kind of doesn't get his plant let down great, and then he kind of slips a little bit, makes a bad connection on his left foot with the ball, and gives it right to them. It wasn't Dynamo was so bad playing out of the back type thing. It was more just kind of a freak accident with the turf. That's generally a strength.
So it's generally a strength. So it's not something we should be like, okay, we press well, and last year they made that mistake. We shouldn't be like, okay, we're gonna take advantage of that. That's a strength for you.
If Eric Sviatchenko is available too at center back, it's gonna be even tougher because he is fantastic out of the back.
Okay. And Solana's asking, you already answered it, but how excited are Houston fans for McGlynn? You said that they're ecstatic. You thought that he would be in the Bundesliga this year. Yeah,
he's so good.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
No, I just wanted to bring just something up real quick, because the thing is, look, I'm not a big fan of Houston in terms of like their goals, because that Mike Jones song just destroys my heart and soul.
When did they start with that song?
They started that song's pretty old. It's like,
yeah, it has to be. I mean, Mike Jones hasn't made music in over 15 years, I imagine.
God, I would say it might even be older than this, but I think it was around like the 2011 MLS Cup run. It might be older, but
and they're still playing it. That's cool.
I wonder if his phone number still works.
They just started playing it in the stadium, I think, in 2023. I think Ben Olsen's first year is when they started playing it when they scored. They used to not do that. They used to play like a different chant. I don't even remember what it was at this point, but there was a different chant from like the time that Shell Energy Stadium opened up until 2023 when they switched it to the Mike Jones one.
Well, one of the points I wanted to bring up was I remember last year in the playoff run, the one thing I always noticed that a lot of fans on other teams didn't want to face one of the teams, which was Houston. Now, I mean, there's been a couple changes, but I imagine that you haven't seen enough to say, well, we're not going to be a part of the party. I mean, you said you guys can be able to be maybe fifth or sixth in the standings. So I imagine that the fan base doesn't feel like things have changed as much, right?
That's a tough question, because there's definitely the part of the fan base that's just going to be negative about literally everything. You know, they sell Hector, and then they spend $3 million on Jack McGlynn, and then the next day they're tweeting how we don't spend money. It's this whole thing. But I would say for the most part, it's that long. Okay. Damn.
It's almost 20 years.
The fan base in general I see is pretty neutral. I think they're probably expecting a little bit more of the same. I don't think anyone's expecting them to make an MLS Cup this run this year. I'd be pretty surprised. But they do have another DP spot, and they're even tweeting today. Asher Mendelson, our technical director, is tweeting today how they're very much looking to fill that spot before the end of this window.
I'm about to get some criticism because I'm going to be one of those negative fans that you were just talking about that Houston has. I don't think Miami has looked great this year so far.
Okay.
The first game of the year, we said it's the cold weather. Then against NYCFC, it was the 10 men. Even though they did look good the first 15 minutes before the red card, and then we gave them a lot of credit because they held possession when they had 10 men. So I get it, but it wasn't a great game. No, go ahead.
You're setting yourself up real bad.
That's fine. and then this last game that we just beat KC again, I came and I told you I thought they looked sloppy that first half. They ended up with 3 chances and they scored all 3 chances, but it was a sloppy first half. In the second half, they didn't do a lot. So
the thing is, you guys could afford to play sloppy when you have Suarez and Messi.
Absolutely. All you need is 2 or 3 chances of brilliance, and they will convert them, which is what they did. So, and Solana likes to pander to the chat. So don't take Solana. I'm here to tell you what's the truth, and the truth is they haven't looked great. Now you could blame the weather for the first game. You could blame the 10 men for this second game, but I'm telling you, I didn't think they look good. So. And they're saving their legs, maybe their legs are tired because since that last preseason game on February 14th, Valentine's Day, they've played basically every 3 or 4 days since then. So this is the longest break between now and the Houston game. Those 5 days is the longest break they've had since before that. So I think that they can come out now that they have 5 days to rest and look better against Houston, but I think that they haven't looked great, and I'm hoping that they look better this Sunday.
Yeah, I hope both teams look good. I hope it's a good game.
Fine. Oh yeah, they look fine. Yeah, they won. They look fine. What does that mean? They look fine. They won.
Yeah, they did look fine. I mean, they're fine.
Won. Yeah, of course they look fine.
Yeah.
See, I like how they looked fine last week and lost.
Exactly. And I'm not becoming a negative Nancy. I'm just calling it how I see it. So
yeah, my name is Jeff. It says Danny is not okay with just wins.
No, I'm telling you that they haven't looked great yet. So they played 3 games. Which one of those games did they look great? Which one of those 3 games did you look at and you're like, this team is going to win it all? I think they can, but it's not there yet. So
well, it is what it is, Danny.
All right. Just because I say they haven't looked good yet, I'm not saying that they're going to be horrible. Joe, I'm sorry, I blanked for a second. Joe, prediction time.
Predictions.
How do you think this game ends?
Ooh, I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go with 2-2.
Okay.
Ooh,
fair.
A 2-2 draw. Okay. It's bold. Another draw, Danny. You see that? We're gonna have our second.
Game. He didn't say Miami was gonna lose. That's not bold.
A draw is bold.
No, it's not. It's a good prediction.
I think it's a pretty neutral prediction. I mean, either team could win this game. I mean, you said Miami's plays sloppy so far. They're on short rest compared to the Dynamo. Messi might not play. I mean, Messi might not play. I think the Dynamo could very, very well pull it out and win. I mean, that's what we saw in the Open Cup. The Dynamo honestly killed them in that game when they didn't have Messi. But if Messi plays, I'm going 2-2.
Okay. And that's all I'm saying, Amanda. I'm not saying that they look horrible. I'm saying they need to clean it up. They could be better. KC isn't a good team. KC isn't a good team. You should smack up KC. KC isn't a good team. All right.
And then Tommy 2 time is saying his mouth says draw, but his eyes say 3-0 Houston.
Hey man, if you catch McGlynn on one of those days, man, I could see it.
That is true. Yeah, you can get some goals out of him.
Chris, go ahead.
I think I'm gonna be I'm gonna be a little conservative here. I'm gonna go 2-1. I usually go hard in the paint with the predictions, but I think a nice 2-1 walking out of Houston is acceptable. And Mitch agrees with me.
And you said Falcon, Allen, and do you think Messi starts?
I think Messi starts. All? I think he's going to start. I think that at this point it's too early in the season to be taking breaks. If it isn't something serious, get in the bus and let's go.
I agree. I think that they're going to play Messi every single game, and it scares me a little bit, but I also excited to see it. I'm going to go 2-1 also. I'm going to go that very basic call 2-1, right? That's like the very basic one, right? You don't want to say you score too much. You don't want to call for a clean sheet. that 2-1
Yeah.
score line, and I'm gonna say Inter Miami win 2-1. If Messi plays. If Messi doesn't play, I'm gonna call for a 1-1 draw. So
Okay.
we'll see. So
Acceptable.
we shall see. Yeah. Chris, do you have any questions for Joe?
I think we've asked almost all the questions of Joe last time.
Because Joe, this isn't the first time Joe joins us. Joe joined us before the U.S. Open Cup.
I think it was my third time on here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we play? Oh, that's right, because we played. That's right, when he didn't go the last time.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Is Super Mario a superhero? Did we ask you that?
Super Mario a superhero? Huh. I guess into the magic Mushroom Kingdom he is, so sure.
But like he is this, if he was here in the world with us, is he a superhero?
Yeah, he's got powers and he saves people, so yeah.
Super Mario.
Yeah. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Solana, are they going to play well? I don't know. I hope so. How am I supposed to know that, Solana? I hope so. I hope that they play well.
He's more of a hero than Batman, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Backstreet Boys are in sync.
Backstreet Boys are in sync.
We caught him in a.
It's tough. I got Backstreet Boys.
Hey, no, that's my guy, Joe.
That's awful.
Can mummies swim?
Can mummies
no,
swim?
can zombies
No.
Zombies. Can zombies swim?
Swim? Yeah, they can swim. Not well, but they can swim.
You see that, Danny?
There you go.
You got to be careful out there. That's why I don't go in the ocean. Are you kidding me? See, look,
Jay-Z
asked us.
Jay-Z, Nas, or Mike Jones?
Nas.
Yeah, yes. End the show.
Well, I thought he might say Mike Jones. I don't know. I was waiting for Mike Jones.
Nobody likes Mike Jones in 2025. Like what?
No, man. If you're from Houston, you have to like Mike Jones.
I literally just tried to call the phone number of Mike Jones and it's busy. 281-330-8004. Like I literally called that right now. I literally called that. Hold on.
Thank you for calling. To speak to a representative, please press 0.
Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can talk to Mike Jones. It said if I want to talk to a representative. I mean, I'm already knee deep in this.
Well, while you do that, Joe, is a hot dog a sandwich? I don't know.
Hot dog a sandwich. Okay. No, I don't think so.
I agree. I feel for it to be a sandwich, you need two separate buns.
Yeah, you got to have one on the top, one on the bottom. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm with you. And Mitch is asking a really weird question. I don't even know if I should ask.
I said Mike Jones.
Do I wipe sitting or standing?
And I appreciate all y'all across the world
sitting
on my 281-330-8004. You know what I'm saying? Got the number back, and we back in action. You feel me? You can text me. You can hit me up, DM me, anything, man. Hit the boy up, man. And make sure y'all check out 281-330-8004.com, baby. Who? Mike Jones? Money Trump.
What? He's got a website on his phone. Where else are you getting, guys? If you don't like this episode just for that, you're out of here. Where are you getting? Where are you getting this content?
I can't believe that he paid to have that number and have that message on there. That's wild. Oh, Mike Jones is still going strong. Wow.
Still holding on. How long do you think he's gonna hold on to that phone number?
Nah,
you think he's gonna pass it to his kids?
All right. If we have nothing else for Joe, Chris, do you have any more questions for Joe?
No, I think we wrapped it up with the fun. I mean, listen, we had more fun than ever. Called Mike Jones today.
Hell yeah.
And I think we ran through all the questions. And yeah, I don't see any more. Joe, we appreciate you hanging out with us and having a little fun with us. Let everybody know where they could find you if they want some Mike Jones or Houston Dynamo talk.
Oh, you can find us at BayouCitySoccer.net or just any of our socials at Bayou City Soccer. We got Dash News, Dynamo News, Dynamo 2 News. We have 2 separate podcasts, one for the Dynamo, one for the Dash. Catch us every Monday night. We are live streaming at about 9 o'clock.
Nice. And you said you're not going to be at the game.
No, I will not.
Okay. All right. Well, Joe, we appreciate you hanging out, and we'll catch you on. Maybe we play maybe Leagues Cup or something. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
meet up at some point again.
Yeah, for sure. Look forward
All
to
right,
it.
Joe. All right, Joe. You have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.
You as well, guys. Good night, man.
All right.
That was fun, huh? A little Mike Jones action. Got a little Houston
Mike.
Dynamo breakdown. Good stuff here, guys.
So for Sunday's game, starting lineup, same back line: Alba, Falcon, Allen, and Frey. Yes, you with me so far, or do you think Lujan gets in there somewhere?
No. I don't think Lujan's got the chops for it at this moment.
And then Ustari at keeper, and then double pivot Busquets and Redondo. I haven't heard anything about Bright, so it has to be Busquets and Redondo, right?
This gash that he has on his upper thigh has got to be pretty serious. Like, it hasn't been like Baptist Hospital, mentioned. It hasn't been like, there's nothing online. I can't find anything about this gash he has on his leg, but he's not even considered on the bench.
I have a random question that just popped in my head. If we ever go through a list of our guests, are we allowed to add Mike Jones on there?
Yes. We officially had Mike Jones. I don't know what else to tell people.
I cannot believe that was the message that you got when you called it.
Listen, I didn't expect it. You didn't expect it. And guess what? Now on the video, you can put down featuring Mike Jones, who said that they can have some audio featuring Mike Jones.
So we got the double pivot. Do you think it's Segovia and Allende? Do you think we rest any players? Because I think that we should rest players, because I think a 9-day rest for some of these guys after playing consistently, because after Valentine's Day, they played on the 14th, then they played on the 18th, then they were supposed to play on the 22nd, got moved to the 23rd. Then they played again last Saturday, which was the 6th. They played again on Tuesday. They've been playing literally every 3 to 4 days since Valentine's Day. I feel like a 9-day rest would be great for these guys, especially for the CCC.
This is where I agree. Rick A is saying rest everyone, and we rip 5-0. I do feel like if there's any game where we're going to see rotation, it's going to be against Houston Dynamo. We'll see the same deal with Ruiz and Ben Krem coming on. You saved Segovia and Allende, maybe play him for 20 minutes and change. The only thing that really makes a difference here is we don't have Fafa at the moment.
Kara said that he thinks that we're going to put Allen at left back. So Jordi Alba will take a rest?
I don't know, dude. I mean, you really think look, the last
Jordi said that he has some discomfort. He said
yes, and that's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there's any reason to do that, and he hasn't looked his best the last 2 games. So I would agree that it would be the smart play, especially against Houston. It's the second game of the regular season. This is where I might see something, but Busquets hasn't really shown anything on the contrary of wanting to play.
I think of the 4 main guys from Barca, right? Alba, Busquets, Suarez, and Messi. I think Busquets has been the Iron Man. He just never misses games.
Well, it's been between Busquets and Alba. And Alba at some point has been very Iron Man-ish, because if you notice, every time they make substitutions, Busquets, Suarez, and Messi come off quicker than Alba. Alba stays on there with the young guns.
Shout out to Mike V. He said he couldn't grace us with his commentating presence because he's at Disney, pretty sauced up. Might be at Epcot, I would assume. Shout out to Mike V. I miss Disney so much, but that's a conversation for another day.
You missed an interview with Mike Jones, Mike V. Sorry.
Yeah. We had Mike Jones on the show. It's official tissue. He was a member. He has been officially a guest. Is he the biggest guest we've ever had? He's bigger than Tom Boger.
Yeah, he's bigger than Tom Boger. He's bigger than everybody. Mike Jones.
He's bigger than Fernando Fiore. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Who?
All right.
Mike Jones.
If they were to make a pairing with Redondo and somebody else, do you think it would be Ruiz or Kremaki?
I think it'd be Ruiz. I would go with
for
Ruiz.
that position. For a double pivot, I would assume so also.
Yeah.
I would assume so also. All right. And then do you think Segovia and Allende play?
I don't think so. I think that you're going to get people coming in that's going to take a little bit more time. I'd love to see Gressel. I'd love to see Gressel come in. Solana, get out of here. You don't have a phone number that I just call. I mean, you do have a phone number. I can call you, but you don't have a Mike Jones phone number with your message there. No, get out.
And then Suarez. Would you play Suarez?
Yes.
Even though you don't have any other striker.
What other striker do we have? We're going to play Leo Alfonso? Like, come on. Leo Alfonso's going to play 90 plus? Get out of here. I mean, I'd love to see it, especially against Houston, but
I'd love to see them put a good 90 minutes together.
Yes. Well, listen, Leo Alfonso could be a problem. You were going to say? I'm sorry.
No, that everybody was saying that I was being too negative. I haven't seen a 490 put together yet, so that's just me. All right, Chris. Any final thoughts?
Mike Jones.
Oh, wait.
That's it.
Wait. Random. Maybe consider gas bagging. I don't know. I started watching this show on Disney Plus called Win or Lose, I believe is what the name of it. Have you watched it?
No.
I recommend it to absolutely everybody. Awesome animated show. You can watch it with the kids. Awesome show. It's one of those shows that follow like a storyline for like a couple of days, but every episode it's the same couple of days, but from a different perspective of everybody in the show.
That's cool.
This happens to this kid, and then this happens to this adult, and then you see like, oh, this is what was happening with that kid in the background as this is happening. Very cool. It's only 4 episodes in, but absolutely awesome. I watched it with my kids yesterday because they drop new episodes every Wednesday, and they had an episode about a daughter, which was the 3rd episode, and then her mom on the 4th episode. And it was really cool because they make you think one thing in the 3rd episode, and then you see it a completely different way in the 4th episode. Highly recommend. Random, I know. I guess you can consider this gas bagging, but I highly recommend if you have nothing to watch, Win or Lose on Disney Plus.
Well, since you're talking about TV, and this is something I was going to mention, Mitch is saying Severance is the best show on TV. Abso-freaking-lutely. So far, it is awesome. I haven't watched it through and through just yet, but one show I do want to recommend, especially since the last part of the final season just came out, Cobra Kai.
Paradise?
On Netflix.
Oh,
Cobra Kai on Netflix.
Paradise.
Listen, Cobra Kai on Netflix literally ended it the best way possible. One of the best endings I've ever seen in television history. You know that I get a little drastic. Maybe I should not.
Yeah, I know you're absolutely horrible. But Solana just says something that I know he was joking, right? There's 315 episodes about it here. It's plenty to watch. I will tell you that when I've gone back to search for certain clips of our old shows, it's very funny to go back and hear some of the conversations we've had in the past. So if you're ever just bored, I'm telling you, it is kind of funny to go back and hear some of the nonsense that we've talked about in the past. And by the Win or Lose show, it's a Pixar show. And I know you love Pixar, so.
Yeah, no, Pixar's amazing. Mitch is saying, I finished Cobra Kai. It was great. And then Florida Man says, I don't take advice from someone who hasn't watched John Wick. And you're the real hero, Rick A. You too, Solana. Everybody else in the chat too.
No, look, I don't like action movies. I think they're silly.
Mitch, come on, man.
I like Cobra Kai. I mean, I'm not as high on it as Chris is, but I like it.
It's one of the greatest shows of all time.
Oh my God! Why do you do that? Why can't you help yourself? Why? Why can't you just help yourself?
I don't know, man. It's a really good show.
All right. Again, and Severance I've heard is really good. And show Paradise.
Yes,
everybody keeps talking about it. They're doing a great job promoting it because they're like, oh, episode 7 of Paradise is probably one of the greatest single episodes of any TV series of all time. And it's like they say it so much that like it piques your interest. Like, damn, maybe I should check it out. So Paradise on Hulu apparently is really good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll ask you one more time, Chris. Oh, and by the way, at 10 o'clock, Battered MLS fans, we're gonna have Tommy one time and Eric from LAFC on there to talk a little MLS upcoming week, CCC, and a little bit of this USL nonsense that's going around about how they're gonna have Pro Rel and how they're gonna take down the MLS. So that should be interesting. So we'll talk about that. Chris, again, any final words?
Mike Jones.
Who?
That's it. Mike Jones.
All right. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that other good stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us for the last 50 minutes. As always, you guys are the best part of the show. And if you have nothing to do for the next hour, go ahead and hang out with us at 10 o'clock for the Battered MLS fans. We'll be, just talking MLS, having some fun. And like I said, you can join us if you want. So until the next one, which will be Sunday. No show on Saturday this week because it's Sunday night soccer. So we'll be on for the post-game Sunday night. So if you're not going to join us for the MLS show, we'll see you guys on Sunday night. So until the next one, have a good one.
Hasta domingo.